In all the years of the running of the Indy 500, no African American ever qualified for the 500. Ribbs is dead set to change that.
They called me Uppity, and I loved it.
He rolls out to IMS piloting the number 43 March Cosworth for AMI Racing, with Don King and Miller Brewing Company backing him. The same company that backed the infamous spin and win Danny Sullivan in 1985 and Bobby Allison of the Alabama Gang. No doubt about it, he has the proper company supporting him. Only 20 laps in, and he decided to park it, quoting that Indy is no place for a rookie to learn about these cars. One mistake and it's over. Sabotage by a higher seat and a shortened windscreen would be the leading cause behind Ribbs' issues, although not made apparent until long after. Yet it's courageous to put your pride to the side and say, I'm not ready yet. For him, it's not over. Not yet. He'd test drive an IndyCar on June 30th of the same year at Meadowlands in New Jersey, setting the record as the first African American to be an official Indy entry. Jumping forward a couple years to 1990, Ribbs would drive for Raynor Motorsports in the number 25, competing in 8 races. One where he would secure a best finish of 10th at Vancouver and a 13th place finish at Laguna Seca. The rest being 2 crashes and 4 mechanical failures. With some races under the belt and some potential to prove, he'd shoot for the big one. He's going to Indianapolis. This time, however, it would be harder. He'd team up with Derek Walker and his team, who had been burned by Porsche leaving IndyCar before the 1990 Indy 500. Ribbs would find backing initially with Bill Cosby. Using a 1990 Lola chassis with a Cosworth power plant, Ribbs would have the potential to make it into the field. Ribbs is struggling to find better results than his 1985 attempt. With a best speed of 201 miles per hour and 101 laps done, the team will come away with some valuable data, but rain and engine issues will prevent completion of the ROP. Ribbs puts in a couple laps in the low 210s. The car being unstable would mean that he has no meaningful track time early on in the month. Other teams are already running in the 219 mile per hour mark. On Friday, the engine would blow, and it would have to be sent off to be rebuilt. Ribbs would need to pass his ROP first before he is able to attempt qualification. He will miss out on pole weekend. A fresh Buick engine comes in on the 13th, and Ribbs catches a break to put a fair run on the board and pass through his ROP. Hopefully this engine can hold up.
And it's gone!
A connecting rod bolt failed. Walker is going to have to put a rush to having it repaired. Early Friday morning, Ribbs completes 24 laps of practice and puts up a 213.2 mile per hour lap. Unfortunately, a massive oil leak in pit lane curbed any further attempts on the day. Kenny Bernstein's King Racing, the Buick factory team, would loan out a well-worn test engine for use on Saturday. The test engine survived morning practice. In the afternoon, he completes a qualifying sim run and puts it in line to qualify.
And it's gone!
Again, another engine blows. Walker is quoted saying, "We put the boost to 55 inches and ran our qualifying gear during practice. We used too much RPM, and that's why we think we broke a valve." Buick would come in clutch and would loan a test motor to Walker Motorsports for bump day. It's all or nothing. They need to make this engine work. At 12:55, Ribbs starts smoking heavily into turn 4. Turned out to be an overflow in the oil tank. Easy fix. He goes out again, and he's starting to smoke again. A lucky break would reveal that it was only a turbo that blew. Around 2:15, the team is well into the process of replacing it.
Well, Dave, you can see Willie T and Derek Walker talking things over, and you know, Willie hasn't been breaking bones out here, but he has been breaking motors, 4 of them in 9 days. This morning they came out for practice. Somebody accidentally overfilled the oil capacity by 1 full quart, and then they came out later and smoked a turbo. Big plume of smoke. They've managed to find another one from Brayton Engineering. They installed it about 40 minutes ago. They've just taken the car back to fuel it. They think they're going to be able to make a run. But talk about the change in fortunes. Take a look at Derek Walker, the man with the sunglasses right behind me. Remember a few years ago when he was working with Roger Penske, helping him win Indy 500 championships, and then he took a roll of the dice and he started the Porsche Motorsports program, only to have the plug pulled from underneath him just last year, and now he finds himself looking from the outside in.
Can you imagine? All he needs is 10 miles. That's the distance for these 4 laps. That's his brother by his side, giving him all the encouragement. He's been here all through the month with him, trying to just help him and encourage him, because they've seen the wrenches turn in this car more, I think, than anybody's ever seen. They've gone through so many engines. They've been driving to Michigan, up to the engine shop to pick stuff up all through the night. All-nighters by the mechanics. Now we have the USAC officials. They measure the car before it's allowed to go into tech. They're going through the final inspection before Willie T will be allowed on the racetrack.
To give you a ballpark estimate, I think the last official figure was still 3 blown engines, one of them twice, for the Ribs team. But that doesn't begin to tell the story of the frustration that they have had here this year. They are simply struggling on a limited budget, and without enough money to operate, they have done a remarkable job in simply being at this point. I think everybody had written them off as of about Wednesday or Thursday of this week.
Well, I spoke to him on Thursday evening after one of their engine blows. Willie gets a pat from the crew member there as he climbs in. This is a very, very tense situation for Ribs right now. But Derek Walker on Thursday told me, he said, I'm out of business. We have no engines, we have no money. And then some people came to the rescue and put him back in business again. They had another engine blow up, and then I believe Buick and Kenny Bernstein came down and said, look, we want to give you guys a hand. You need to have a fair shot. They all pitched in, and we see him in line here. This is a big event. This might be the biggest event Willie T has ever been involved in his racing career.
I think without doubt it is certainly his lifelong goal that is on the line here in the next 4 laps. It's all come to this now, just 45 minutes from the end of this long and complex qualifying procedure that sets the field for the Indy 500. The time he must beat is 213.189. 213.189 miles per hour is the speed that Willie Ribs is shooting for. Willie Ribs on the front straightaway at Indianapolis takes the green flag in this historic effort to become the first black man ever to drive the Indy 500. The bubble speed you saw, 213.189. A car that has just within the last hour practiced about a mile an hour over that. I guess there's reason for optimism.
Here's the graphics, the bottom of your picture. Turn 1, 217, drops down a bit to 214 in turn 2. That means he probably has a little bit of push. We'll get turn 3. You don't want to drop down too much. Backstretch 219. I'd like to see that a little bit faster. Of course, the speed he comes off the turn at depends on what his straight line speed will be. Turn 3, 216. This could be a good lap.
I sense that while he is a little short on straightaway speed, he's not scrubbing off as much speed through the corners and appears to be in reasonably good shape at this point. His top speed of the month is just over 215, and so he basically needs to go within 2 miles an hour of what he has already done. And can that be right? A 230 there, as he really is hauling on the second lap. It looks like they may finally be there. This is the second attempt, the first lap at 217.8, and the crowd goes crazy. They love that announcement. They're really pulling for this guy.
My word, everybody in the front stretch here cheering Willie T. Ribs on 217, faster than he has ever gone here at the Speedway. This is the time to turn on the Speedworks. If you have it, this is the time to do it.
Pass, start, finish, and off into turn 1 goes Willie T. Ribs. 217.997. Ribs is flying. Ribs is looking at a 9th row starting spot. Forget all the bubble business. If he can continue around at this rate, Willie Ribs will be cleanly in the show and within sight of the front row.
He's more than halfway home. Over 5 miles, 2 laps done. He's now finishing on lap 3. He's using all the road. Look how high his exit is, coming off turn 4 here, right up against the wall. Willie T. Ribs is looking good. Keep that engine running.
Here is a man who has learned his lessons. The white flag falls. He is 2 1/2 miles, some 40 seconds away from history. 2:17.5. A little bit of drop off that time, 0.4 of a mile an hour. Still very consistent and well within the window. And he's doing it just exactly right. There's nothing to criticize here.
He's almost there. 2 more corners, turn 3 and turn 4. Now remember, his team give him the information of his lap speed as he comes off turn 4 and passes them. But Willie T. Ribbs looks as if he's in the field.
Ribbs down. Nothing can go wrong now. He can coast into Indy 500 history. The checkered flag falls. Ribbs has made it. The happy crew celebrating the end of an incredibly long and difficult month. And here you see them backslapping, handshaking. They have certainly earned this moment of history that will put Ribbs on the outside of row 10. Let's go trackside to Jerry Punch.
A big smile from Derek Walker. And Derek, congratulations on a great effort.
Thank you. We're very pleased. And Willie did a hell of a job.
As he manages to put the emotion aside and focus on the task to be done.
Just watch this. Just look at the emotion Willie T shows here, and everybody out on the pit lane to celebrate along with him. A great display, a great effort. Nobody and no team has worked harder to qualify for this race than Willie T. Ribbs. Bill Cosby's perseverance and support has really been paid off. Just look at this.
This, I believe, rivals the moment. Perhaps, a tenth of the crowd here that we saw on pole day. But keep in mind that that's still 20 or 30,000 people along that front straightaway, and they're all on their feet. It rivals the moment when A.J. Foyt drove into the middle of row 1. Willie Ribbs has made history at Indianapolis, and America stands to honor him as he climbs out of the cockpit. It is truly a memorable moment in what has been a memorable 75th year here at Indianapolis.
He made it safely into the field, qualifying 29th. History was made. After blowing through 3 motors and many other mechanical issues, he would be the first African American to make it into the Indy 500. Ribbs broke through the racial indifference and climbed above it. Despite the lack of major sponsor support, he carved his name into history forever. This video was one of the harder ones to make in a while, with how some of the info was not necessarily clear on how many engines he blew and all the different mechanical failures he went through. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know, the same old spiel. I'm not gonna beg, but just let me know what you thought of the video, and hope you have a good day.